One truth many cat owners have settled with is that cats aren't the easiest animals to own. However, that doesn't mean they aren't the sweetest little creatures to have around. Even with the whole tough feline facade they try to front with, we all know they have very delicate feelings. As much as they can be happy and excited, they can also get very sad and disappointed. So, chances are you've probably hurt their feelings at some point. Of course, none of these instances may have been intentional. However, while we may not have control over everything in life, we definitely should be able to control our actions. So here are 16 things that emotionally hurt your cat that you should be aware of. 16. Pushing them away. No one likes to be pushed away, especially when all they want is your attention. And the case is not very different with cats. As a cat owner, you may have noticed how much your cats love being involved in your work. This means they could jump on your desk while you're trying to finish up work or study or simply get in the way. At this point, your immediate reflex is to push them away. But wait a second, how would you have felt if you were on the receiving end? That wouldn't have been the most pleasant experience for you. Well, it's no different with cats. So next time, before you act on that reflex, gently lift them and redirect them somewhere else. Even worse, there are cat parents who constantly reject their pets whenever they want to be around them. If you fit into this category, the only advice I have for you is that you stop immediately, or we just may come get him from you. 15. Leaving them alone. Rejecting the affection of your pet is one thing, but going as far as leaving them alone is a line you shouldn't cross. Of course, the best excuse many give is that cats aren't needy creatures. But while that may be true, it does not mean that cats enjoy constantly being alone. Many times, leaving them alone for too long makes them feel dejected. In most cases, they may not even want to be curled up in your arms. However, just knowing that you are close to them is enough. Of course, there are times when your feline friend may get picky about being pet. But you need to know that this doesn't mean they want to be left all alone. Now, we all know that life may be demanding. However, spending time with your cat should also be a priority. Your cat needs to know that they'll always have you, and if they don't have that constant reassurance, you may end up with a depressed cat. 14. Teasing. No one likes to be teased, whether you're a human or an animal. Now, you might be wondering, how do you tease a cat? Well, there are several ways people tease their cats, and you're probably guilty of a couple of them. Things like pulling their tail, scaring them out of sleep, blowing in their face, picking them up against their will. All of these things come off as teasing to your cat. And let's not forget the widespread cucumber prank that your cat absolutely does not find funny. Many times, these acts only leave these little guys confused or scared. Remember that just because you find it amusing doesn't mean they do. Does this mean that you can't have fun with your cat? Of course not. You can and should have fun with your cat. However, make sure your cat is having fun as well. 13. Ignoring their pains. Turning a blind eye when your cat tries to draw your attention to the pain they may be feeling is terrible cat parenting. Remember that although your cat may be good at masking pain, you can usually tell when they are in pain. It could either be their inability to eat due to a tooth infection, or their failure to use the litter box due to a urinary infection. Whatever the case may be, you have to be observant enough and not just act like this is normal behavior. Doing so leaves your cat feeling neglected. If, in any case, you notice your cat isn't comfortable, you may want to schedule an appointment with the vet. 12. Ignoring their fears. With the ability to hear sounds at 1.6 octaves higher than humans, you would understand why they jump at loud sounds. These things could be as simple as the vacuum cleaner, balloons, fireworks, or even video games. All of these loud sounds could cause them stress and anxiety. So whenever you notice the flattened ears, arched back, lowered tail, and looking for a hiding spot, you know that they are very uncomfortable. And there's nothing worse than seeing them in that state and not acting immediately. Remember that this fear of loud noise is a survival instinct in cats. So you would want to provide the little guy with a calm environment where they can feel safe. 11. Shouting. Besides the loud noises from the appliances, movies, or video games, shouting at your cat also terrifies them. So yelling at them is never the best option, even when they make a mess. Yelling at your furry friend will only build fear in their minds and make them feel like they can't be safe around you. Pretty sure that's not what you want. So let's quit the yelling, shall we? 10. Punishments. Punishing your cat when they do something wrong definitely tells your cat that you are angry. However, that's not enough information for them to understand what they've done. So if you have the habit of forcefully grabbing them or shoving their face in a mess, not only is this ineffective, it's abuse. What's ironic is that fear is not a good deterrent for cats. If you instill fear in them by punishing them for making a mess, it's not going to keep them from repeating the mistake. It's only going to make them do even worse. So just like yelling at them, punishing your cat does not teach them a lesson. It only makes them afraid of you. 9. Forcing new relationships. As a pet owner, observing your pet is one of the biggest responsibilities you have to take up. And if you take that seriously, you can tell if your cat is reserved or not, especially around strangers. We all know that these felines have the worst trust issues and will only take introductions at their own pace. Therefore, if you've ever tried to push them to interact with strangers, you just may have disrespected their feelings. This is why allowing your cats to make friends by themselves is very necessary. You might also want to tell others to respect their space. 8. Serving only dry food. If there's anything we know about cats, is that they don't like water, so they rarely take enough of it. Due to this, cats are usually prone to having urinary crystals and kidney problems. And the best alternative to preventing all of this is by adding wet food to your cat's diet. If you choose to stick to serving them just dry food, you will only be doing them a lot of harm. For some cats, wet food could be their only source of water. So make sure you infuse that in their diet. You could even try adding water to their regular food. Whatever you choose, just make sure your cat is getting some form of water every day. It's important to their health, both physically and mentally. 7. Disturbing them as they eat. It's no mystery that cats are usually on high alert around loud noises. And so when you choose their dinner time to play loud music or watch a loud show, they only end up being stressed. This stress causes them to either not eat at all or to eat too quickly so they can find where to hide. Your cat would rather appreciate having her meal in a calm and quiet environment. That way, they're able to eat at a more normal pace. 6. Leaving out old food. Like a regular person, spoiled food isn't good for consumption and can lead to food poisoning and pancreas problems. As much as possible, always serve your cat fresh food and avoid feeding her with stale food that has been sitting out for days. Most people see this need for fresh food as just their personality trait, while others see it as an instinct traced back to their ancestors. Whatever the case may be, your cats can and will mostly feel understood and appreciated when they're served right. I mean, wouldn't you feel the same way? 5. Lack of hygiene. Cats are many things, but most of all, these felines are very clean animals. This is why you constantly find them grooming themselves. Being that kind of animal, you can imagine how being in a dirty environment will make them feel. Leaving your feline best friend in dirty environments only leaves them stressed and irritated. These could include food bowls with a foul smell from leftovers, or a litter box or bed that isn't clean. Mainly because these are places you would usually find them, Your cat could get very angry and even start to display unwanted behaviors. They could start by constantly hissing or meowing, or even worse, doing their business in the wrong places. We already covered how yelling won't solve anything, so you may want to do the right thing and clean up. 4. Using harsh cleaning products. Often, cat owners go to the store and buy certain cleaning products, forgetting they have pets at home. As a pet owner, you must keep in mind that certain products are highly toxic to your cats. Sure, you might say that your cats aren't exactly directly exposed to these products. However, what happens when your cat dashes through your freshly mopped floor and then licks her paws afterwards? Most times, that is all the direct contact they need to ingest these toxins. So the next time you're at the store, be sure to watch out for cleaning products that could be toxic for your cat, especially those that contain bleach or ammonia. 3. Assuming all they want to do is sleep. Generally, your feline is built to hunt and kill prey. But when we bring them into our home, these instincts are restricted. And so you begin to believe that all your cat really wants to do is sleep around all day. But that isn't the case. Even though house cats no longer live in the wild, they still crave constructive ways to engage their instincts. And if they aren't able to do that, they could end up displaying destructive behavioral issues. Bored out of their skin and bounding with so much built-up energy with nowhere to let it out, your cat could become anxious and stressed, and nobody wants that. Helping to ensure your cats don't find themselves in such situations will demand that you allow them to hunt for their food. And I certainly do not mean that you allow them out into the wild. However, there are very creative ways you can make this work in your home. Some ideas you could try include serving portions of their food in food puzzles or placing food in familiar areas for them to discover. Introducing toys that help them exercise these instincts will also help your cat stay happy mentally and healthy too. 2. Skipping the little things. If you're one of the cat owners who never grooms their cat and instead ignores your cat's nails, hairballs, and ears, then you're very wrong. These things, if ignored, could cause serious harm to your cat. It is important to remember that your cat has needs you must meet. And if these needs aren't met, then you risk hurting them emotionally and physically. 1. Declawing your cat. Declawing your cat has to be the worst punishment you could give them. Declawing a cat is very similar to cutting our human fingers off. Aside from the unbearable pain, declawing usually leads to mobility issues. According to the Veterinary Medical Association, since scratching is an innate behavior in cats, declawed cats who cannot scratch around could end up with severe emotional stress. So, please, whatever you do, never declaw your cat. Feel free to give those claws a good trim every 2 to 3 weeks, but declawing is a line that should never be crossed. And with that said, we've now come to the end of this video. Hopefully, you now know how to do better by your cat. Meanwhile, have you been having trouble understanding your cat? Then you may want to check out this video, Real Meanings Behind 9 Strange Cat Behaviors Explained. Catch you there!